Hi guys and girls, it's Pete, Mindwiseman's channel, aka Maverick Outdoors, and today's Sunday the 2nd of March, and I've decided to come out on a trek up on the trail, Wayfarer's Walk, you know the place. Got my multi-pocket jacket stocked up, gloves, torch, small first aid kit, small wallet with sundries for backup, MRE food in there, small ammo flask in that pocket with hot tea, inside pouch, sit on that and a plastic bag in there, and then behind it you can see there's the back of the hood, there's the back, and then the large pouch behind. I've got a poncho folded into the pocket, zip pocket, which is actually part of it. I'm not normally a person, but it's easy to go over the top of that multi-pocket jacket, so at least I've got access to all my bits and pieces. It's hopefully not going to be too rainy, but you can see the cloud cover is sort of moving, and you can just sort of tell if you're using the sort of effects, the way the wind's blowing now. Woohoo! Blowing me a bit. Okay, it looks like I've got this trek and trail to myself today. No one around, even though it's windy, there's nobody flying their kites or their hobby model aircraft. So, trek on. I've left it coming out late this afternoon. It's coming up to about 4:30, obviously in the afternoon, and I've got about maybe maximum reasonable light for the next hour and a quarter, hour and a half. So I'll try and get as much stuff that I want to put across in this little trekkie vid while it's daylight, even though it's not that hospitable weather, but as you know, all weathers, all terrains. A lot of people I was getting feedback from the recommendations trek I did last year, the end of October, which the majority of you will know about. All given sort of their regards and hope that Dave is okay. Yeah, he's bang on it again. Only Tuesday this week just gone, he was back up Brecon Beacons on part of the sort of fan trail, the same trek we took in the mist, but it wasn't as overcast for him on that Tuesday last week, and he took a good friend of ours up there who's been a bit inquisitive to experience some of the things we do, but it was a bit nervy for him because the bad weather kicked in randomly, then it cleared, then it was random, and he got to the edge of Corndoo and the top of Pennine Fan and saw the northern drop, and could appreciate the prepping, fitness, and just getting your mindset. Great on a sunny day, no problems, but when you've got unpredictable weather, you know, you've got to get the mindset for it. So, but he's gagging for it, our friend, which I might include in a video maybe in the near future when I'm out with him as well. There could be 3 or 4 of us. But our friend, for the first time, did some hardcore and also Dave Mountain Goat took him into the woods afterwards. So they must have done about a good 15 miles trek in total, from early morning up the Fan Corndoo, all round the struggly bits, and then into some nice scenic route, even though there's some high terrain, into the woods southeast of Penai Fan, and some lovely waterfalls. So our mate, I think, has got the bug, and he's stepped up his exercise regime. He's always been involved with exercise and fitness. That's where me and David know him from. But I think he's got another objective now, and I think he's got the outdoorsy bug. Bring it on! Oh yeah, he messaged me a couple of days ago to say he's going up there again in 2 weeks. Can't get enough. Bring it on, tactile to the max. Extra large. Raise my voice, so please excuse me shouting at you. No offence. Just so you can hear me. I'm not one for muffling the wind, otherwise it ruins the effect of actually what's going on. Because it ain't clement. So you need to share the experience of that while you're sitting warmly in your homes. Right, I'm off up there. So the wind is blowing southeasterly to me, so all down this side I'm getting more wet. I'm not going to don the poncho. I'm not actually getting soaking wet, and even if I do get a little bit wet, it's a good aspect to get used to that sort of thing, not putting yourself at risk, because of course you could stop, be wet, cold breeze, hypothermia. But obviously knowing what I know for myself, I'm quite happy to get a little bit wet, because it's all good if that were to happen when you didn't expect it. There's nothing worse than being affected by something in the weather that you're not prepared for, used to, and then that can catch you out. So I'm going to let myself stay wet. So carry on down there. It's kicking up again, so I've got to shout at you. Good job, I've got a strong voice. Projectile voice. Okay, I'm going to keep going for another mile or so. I'm hoping it's sort of a secluded area from the breeze, and then I can just sit there and have a bit more chin whack. But one of the objectives, sort of trekking again, is to maintain the fitness. Because for the next 4 to 6 weeks, I want to get back up Brecon Beacons again, maybe for 2 to 3 nights, either solo or with Dave, and maybe another experienced oppo. So, you know, you've got to keep up with it. Like I say, back to our friend who did the trek up Brecon Beacons, you know, he really appreciated the aspect that if he wanted to enjoy what he did, his conditioning was just as much about the part as, or I should say, just as much about the part as having your waterproofs, your trekking boots, and all your little bits. Although I've been doing outdoor stuff, the nature of it, when I've been doing it, it's not been privy to actually sort of publicly present on video. You know, because the nature of it being private and the particular people, you know, it's an aspect of other things that I'm involved with, which maybe, you know, might not be privy for YouTube. So, you know, that's why I've not been around. And again, thanks for people that have been asking me any more videos. We've been waiting for your stuff. So that's why I thought you can just see me struggling in this one. Some people on horseback over the past 24 hours up here, but I'll tell you what, it's only me and sheep down in the vales down there. So I get all all to myself. I'm thinking of just setting up just over by those trees. Okay, so I found the most, if you can call it, sheltered place. I've just rolled this log over, just there, to sit on with my back up against the tree, because the breeze is coming this way. Well, the wind is coming this way. I got the log, it was over there. You can see this, storm damage, what have you. So, across, and I say where I'm standing now, it's catching me. So I tried out all the trees. I thought it might have been actually better, that one over there, with this bit more sort of trunk coming out of the ground, but not to be. This is the best place. Come in here, I can hear it, but I can't feel it. So, gloves got soaking wet, so I've just wedged them into a bit of bark, so I've squeezed them out, and anything else can just hang down and drain. Right, resting my legs for a little while. They're not that tired, but so just sitting down to have a bit of a chin wag. A couple of things that I've been up to recently. Someone approached me not long ago, the latter part of last year, and said there was a TV project that was going on. Would I send my details to the coordinators, the people that were arranging it? So, cut a long story short, I won't go into it too much. Not because it was TV, but because of the experience. It was a 5-day quick assessment course to learn basic skills to live on a desert island for 4 weeks. 12 guys, never met each other before, preferably not experienced, and basically to sort of find and see if the younger generation or man in general, because of modern society, has lost their impetus, their ability, their motivation even, or mainly initiative to fend for themselves with what they can find outdoors, you know, which a lot of us guys can sort of relate to. Anyway, so I went up to see the people, the producers, and it went really well. As I say, it wasn't for the TV at all. It was for the experience of thinking, blimey, if I can go and live on a desert island for 4 weeks and have that experience and sharing it with other people, it doesn't mean to say that, you know, people are going to get on really well. The camaraderie will kick in first of all, but then, you know, characteristics come out, maybe people can clash, and the part of the psychological aspect was involved with it as well. But alas, I got through to the final group of people, but I think I was considered maybe a little bit, not too old, but a bit more matured, or too matured for the age group that they want. The main objective, I think, of that particular production, which will be aired on mainstream TV later on this year, I would think sometimes maybe late summer, early autumn. Yeah, I was a bit miffed I didn't get it, as I say, not because to be on TV, nothing to do with that, but I'm up for anything that's out of the normal, off the beaten track, all weathers, all terrains, you know, and it ain't going to cost me anything, basically. So, but anyway, it wasn't to be, but it was a good experience, you know, making contact with certain people, but it would have been a great thing to do, and I'd love to have done it, even if it had never seen the light of day publicly, but I was able to have experienced it. That was something I was hoping to be involved with, which the production actually has just finished the end of February. So basically it was going to be 12 guys for 4 weeks on this desert island, being given basic minimal survival rations for 3 to 4 days, and after that, nothing. No communication, no telephones. Obviously there'd have been a medical backup, obviously for health and safety and that sort of thing. But it would have been an experiment to see, you know, if modern man has lost the ability to fend for himself, basically. So, but that'll be, I think it's going to be a good series. I think it's about 6 episodes of about a 40-minute or 45-minute episodes for 6 weeks. And it will be on one of the major network channels in the UK, and then it will obviously be worldwide distribution. But I'm looking forward to seeing it and seeing what the outcome is. Plus as well, I've been working on some projects which involve kids. I've been involved with it for, this will be the 3rd year now. It's called the Transition Camp, and it involves underprivileged children from 11 to 12 years old that actually are ready to start senior school, and it brings them all together. It's anything from 20 to 30 kids. I did 28 last year, and we think there's going to be about 30 of them this year. But the funny thing was, was that out of the 28 last year, there was nearly, I think it was about 20 were girls, 11 to 12-year-olds, and they beat the socks off the young lads with all little survival skills. It was only a little morning workshop, which is organised by a government educational department, which I've been connected with for sort of many years, with my involvement with adult education within the educational system. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I've been also working with some other kids connected with that sort of thing. What potential children have if they're given the chance. Get them off their backside, get them away from the computer screens, get them away from the Nintendos, the Wiis, everything else, and just getting out there and doing sort of being tactile. And it's a natural thing, you know, that's inbuilt into human genetics. And it's not until, you know, people are exposed to it and then experience it, they then think, hey, you know, what have I been missing? And all the experience I've ever had with the younger generation over the past 10 years, doing different things, not just outdoor pursuits, but other educational factors that I've been involved with. When you get them to do something physical, it really changes their whole perspective. Because when you actually experience something physical, you can see the knowledge, you can be told the knowledge, but you've actually got to go out there and do it. And when you do something physical, it's a totally different process. Sort of links association with some, I don't know if you want to call it adventurists, and there's one guy in particular, I won't go into it too in depth at the moment, but he's doing an Everest base camp trek, and it's purely a leisurely thing, but I didn't have the finances to actually be able to do it, so I'm hoping to do it maybe, you know, sometime in the next 12 months. Got a lot of things sort of lined up, things that are YouTube orientated, not just for YouTube, but for my own experiences. I'm also going to be acquiring. Whoa, that window's moving. Let's get back under the shelter. That's better. I'm also prospecting getting a more of a heavy-duty inflatable expedition touring canoe. So that is hopefully coming up in the next couple of months. So I'll do a full review and feature on that. That wind's kicking up a bit, so excuse me raising my voice. But yeah, it's going to be sort of the anatomy of a canoe basically, and sort of loading it out and using it maybe on a bit of a long haul on navigating on a riverway somewhere. As a lot of you will know, especially in the UK, it's still going on, even though the flooding weather's not being instigated as such. What is still happening is the fallout from all the bad weather and the flooding. I mean, even near me, there's some areas where the weather has calmed down a bit, but where the fall, I suppose, if you think of it like that, the terrain, if you're living right down in the Vale, you haven't quite received the down current of the water until gravity pulls it down there. So that is one example. I've seen that around some local areas to where I live, where I've driven past it when there was really bad weather and there was a bit of flooding on the road, went back a week later when the weather's been a little bit easier and all the water's drained down from some of the highland farmland into the vales of the farmland and spilled over onto the roads and sort of half blocked the roads. So that's sort of some of the things that I've experienced, but not personally on my property or land or anything like that. You know, and there's a great wealth of knowledge out there, whether professional or amateur, and it's bringing the outdoors community, outdoors activity, if you want to summarise it as that, together. And the more people that are getting aware of it are saying, look, you know, if I can't do anything at the moment, I'll gladly help out at a future date, or, you know, keep me on record, that sort of thing, with you know, people willing to help out. So yeah, all good stuff.
But you know, people are still struggling. I know of people that are not actually on the Thames floodplain, but have been affected along the Thames, and their homes have been flooded, and they still can't live in them. So you know, that's where prepping comes in as well. I must admit, a few people have either been sending me emails or texting me saying, "Here, my roof tiles fell off. I'm worried about this, that, and the other happening. What's the best thing to do? What's all these bug out bag scenario stuff?" You know, great stuff. I'm willing to help out as well with that sort of thing. I've also got a new little item that I've acquired recently. It's a little battery backup when you're out on the trail, in the woods, wherever you are, outdoors, and you need a backup to recharge your phone. So I'm going to be doing a full review. I'm still testing at the moment. I'm still giving it trial runs, just seeing what it's about, and then I'll do a review on it and let you know my experiences about it. But it's about the size of your finger, and it's got about 5 hours talk time backup. It's got up to 120 hours torch, and the torch I'm well impressed with. I'm also doing some trial runs with my own homemade MREs that you can put in a flameless heater, chemical reaction with water pouches. You've seen me use them a couple of times, but they're sort of army issue. You can get them now retail or from army surplus or on eBay, traders, that sort of thing. But I've just got a job lot of them at a really good price. So it's mainly for when I'm hoping to do sort of more trekking, where I don't want to be relying on loads of water, primer stove, that sort of thing, where all I want to do is take minimal food appliances and food to consume, and it be so as minimal as possible, light backpacking. And of course MREs already cooked, and then if you can't heat it, you can eat them cold anyway. But what I'm going to do now is share with you the most revolutionary MRE, meal ready to eat, known to man. It's been established for, I think, about 150, 200 years, and I'll say it's one of the most easiest, doesn't need heating, doesn't need cooking. It's pretty revolutionary, really. I don't know if anyone's actually come across it. But it's called a cheese sandwich. So I'm going to stuff this down my throat now. Ammo flask. Hot cup of tea, about 350ml of hot sweet tea in there. So I'm going to knock that down my throat. So it's getting a bit dusky now, as I was saying earlier. I want to try and get a few things squeezed in before the dark kicks in. Looks like the wind is kicking this rain over now, so there's not really any rain, it's just a cold chill wind factor that's quite forceful. So anyway, I'm going to get this down my throat, get some calories, do a bit more of a trek. Rabbit. I don't know if you saw that. It's either a rabbit or a hare. Catapult. MRE on legs. Right, so I'm going to get this down my throat and then get a move on. Guys and gals. Okay, guys and gals, I'm off. That wind is kicking up big time. The rain's feeling like pins and needles in my face. So, I need to get a move on. Whoa! Move on. Although I'm wet, I'm not too cold. So I need to get my body temperature up. Keep on the move now. And I'm going to take the trail back from where I've just come. So I'm on the move now. So thanks for watching. Quick update. And with the information. As always, thanks for watching. A little bit of an update with the content of this video. Sharing it out in real time. We're actually doing something.
and I'll catch up with you in another video soon. Take care, cheers.